Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming back at you with another Wargaming and miniature video. What we're going to be talking about is the Painting 101 tutorials. We are continuing on. We have our base coats on our models, and what we're going to do now is dip them. Now I use the poly shade. I have chestnut, but I also have pecan. We're going to use pecan because it's a lighter shade. You do need to give it a little bit of a shake because the pigment will settle. You don't want to shake it too much, but you do want to shake it to get the pigment mixed in with the polyurethane. Okay. Now, if you noticed, what I've got sitting here is a piece of wax paper. So if anything drips off of the model and it gets onto the paper, it won't stick to my table. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. All right, once we get the poly shade open, now I'm going to use my dip of applicator brush that we talked about earlier. I'm going to slide the poly shade towards me because when I put these models down, I'm going to put them down on that end. Okay. And what I do is, as you can see, I'm dipping my brush, not the models, and then I am liberally, and I mean excessively, covering the entire model, not just the parts that I painted. Basically everything from the bayonet to the shako to the backpacks to the arms, everything. See, that's a pretty excessive coat, right? Well, now what the dip does is, being that it's a polyurethane, it's going to actually seal the paint in, but it's also, if you notice, it's going to seep down into all the cracks and crevices, and it's going to it's like a wash. It's going to darken all the cracks, and it's going to specifically on, okay, that might be a little too much, specifically on the flesh, it's going to highlight it and bring out all the flesh tones. And then, like on the backpacks and everything else, you're going to see straps. They're going to stand out. The straps on the chest, the creases in the boots, and the gaps between the cuffs and the sleeves. Anything I might have missed, the dip actually fills in all those gaps. Okay, now right now these models look like they're excessively dirty, right? Okay, so what I do is I set these off to the side, and over the course of about 8 hours or 12 hours, the polyurethane will drip down towards the boots, and it will actually thin out a little bit on the top, and it won't look as bad as you think it looks right now. All right, so let me get all these dipped, and I'll be right back. All right, so I got these guys dipped, and they are in the process of drying, of course. You can kind of already see how it's really making a difference already, in my opinion. So these guys are the Voltigeurs. They're not even finished. These guys are the Grenadiers. None of these guys are finished, obviously, because there are steps after the dipping. So, but this is the midway point of finishing these figures. You paint up your figure, then you dip it, and then you got to wait at least like 8 to 12 hours for that dip to dry well enough for you to continue on finishing painting. So what we're going to do is come back and finish the second half of this video. All right, it's 12 hours later, and these figures have dried.
It's the next day, and what I'm planning on doing is spraying it here with this flat crystal clear Krylon clear coat. It says that it will work on wood, metal, plastic, and more. Right there, you see that. And then it'll also dry in less than 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these outside, we're going to spray them, and then we'll see what it looks like. All right, these guys have been sprayed. They are back, and you can see the improvement of taking that gloss off and how good the boots highlights have really shined through, and the shakos and things like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put these, we're going to do the second half of the painting, which is actually painting the details, and we'll be right back.